Welcome for Congressman Robert Enders, one of Taiwan's big friends in Congress.
Thank you very much for your friendship and mentorship over the years. I so much have enjoyed our discussion of the issues and the many wonderful people that I've had a chance to meet around our great country as a result of this association and our association. I think that there are 3 steps that the United States should take to validate the point that we revere and respect freedom and human rights even when it's inconvenient, even when it's risky, even when it's not the easiest course. And those 3 steps involve trade, involve our reaction to political negotiations and economic negotiations between Taiwan and the PRC, and toward the way we treat Taiwan in the global framework. First, with respect to trade. I think for both economic and strategic reasons, the time has arrived for a free trade agreement between the United States and Taiwan. And I will be introducing a resolution in the weeks ahead that will call upon the administration to actively pursue such an agreement and present it to the United States Congress under fast-track type rules. The economic value is obvious. Even those of us who frankly have opposed such agreements with other countries, and I have opposed such agreements on grounds that we should not trade down. We should not reduce our environmental or legal or labor standards down to another level. That argument, which is a hotly debated argument in these halls, is irrelevant to the relationship between the United States and Taiwan. Taiwan has the 20th largest economy in the world. The per capita gross domestic product, I believe, is approaching or near $30,000 per person per year. The economy of Taiwan is vibrant, modern, and advanced in every respect, and there'd be true mutual benefit from such a relationship. But the strategic advantage is even more self-evident in my view. It is an affirmation in a very important sense that the United States regards the people of Taiwan, functionally, as a free, sovereign, and independent people. You don't make free trade agreements with someone else's state or territory. You make free trade agreements with sovereign people. I think that's a hugely important symbol. Which leads me to my second point. The so-called economic framework that is being discussed between Taiwan and the PRC, in my view, is more of a cage than a framework. Because I think that it reflects a negotiation from a position of disadvantage. Now, I believe that any duly elected government has the autonomy to negotiate any agreement it sees fit for its people. But that presupposes a negotiation that is free of coercion and is conducted in a truly bilateral and equivalent context. That is most assuredly not the case, because I think of the absence of United States support for Taiwan. I think that the PRC is really reading the situation as an invitation to engage in a more coercive discussion with Taiwan than a bilateral and free one. It would be ironic to link these 2 points if there was a so-called trade agreement signed between Taiwan and the PRC before there was a trade agreement signed between the United States and Taiwan. So I think these issues are quite related. And I think that active pursuit of a free trade agreement between the United States and Taiwan would set a better context for whatever negotiations are going to proceed between Taiwan and the PRC. It would be an affirmation of our view that Taiwan is sovereign and independent, which leads me to my final point. Taiwan is functioning as a sovereign and independent state. No question about that. The rest of the world views it that way in economic terms, views it that way in legal terms, and I think the time has come to end the fiction that politically and in terms of international law that is not the case. It's a provocative position, there's no question about that. But I think rather than simply asserting the obvious point that the World Health Organization should include the voice of the people of Taiwan, or asserting the point that there should be military exchanges between the United States and Taiwan, or asserting other points of this nature, I think that our policy should move in the bolder and more truthful direction of acknowledging Taiwan as sovereign and independent. Now, I know that's provocative. I know that's provocative. It's meant to be. Because we are confronted here with a longer struggle between a country based in Beijing that I hope will evolve into a peaceful trading partner of the United States and a true asset to the world economy. I hope that's the evolution that will take place in the PRC. But for us to assume that that will be that evolution, I think would be a dramatic mistake. If the economy of the PRC grows over the next 20 years at the rate at which it has grown in the last 20 years, and the government of the PRC devotes to military expenditures the same share of GDP it presently devotes, the truthful share it devotes, not the share it reports, then in 20 years the Chinese military structure will be twice the size of that of the United States. Plane for plane, ship for ship, missile for missile. And there will be 5 times as many citizens of age to bear arms in China as there are in the United States. This is a future I do not aspire to. It's not one that I predict, but it's one that I think we have to be prepared for. And I think the best preparation is not to compromise or cower on matters of principle. It is to assert matters of principle. And I think that the issues regarding Taiwan are matters of principle, not simply for the security and freedom of the people of that country, but for the efficacy of the promises made by the people of our country. Yes, this is provocative, but I believe that we should provoke a discussion, a nonviolent discussion, but provoke a discussion of these differences now, rather than wait for the day when the person with whom we're going to have this discussion has grown more strong and powerful and perhaps irreversibly bellicose in its relationship to the United States. The great moments of our history have been ones where we've acted out of principle, even when it's risky or inconvenient. And I think this is one of those moments. So I believe that the pursuit of the free trade agreement, frankly, the creation of a new diplomatic context for any negotiations between Taiwan and the PRC, and actions which assert our functional reality that Taiwan is a free and independent sovereign state are the right course for Taiwan and, frankly, more importantly, the right course for the United States of America. I thank you for this opportunity to be with you this morning, and I'd be happy to answer any questions so I can get